Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet a great episode of the Great Debaters Contest. I'm your host, Chris Boru.
And I'm Esperanza Kapanga. And today we're going to speak about devolution, with the motion being, devolution is a hindrance to national integration. The proposers of this motion are Apostlic Camel High School, and the opposers in this motion are Mang'u High School.
Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes.
Stop what you're doing, take some time, breathe in, breathe out, and let me change your view on devolution. I am Edna Kareri from Apostlic Camel Girls Secondary School. Devolution. What is devolution? Devolution is the disintegration of power and resources from the central government to a lower level, such as the regional or local level. What is national integration? And before that, what is a nation? A nation is a group of people bound together within a state or a territory under one government. And what is integration? To fuse or to bring together. Thus, national integration is the bringing together or unifying of people within a country. I believe that devolution is a hindrance to national integration. First of all, it has promoted conflicts between the regional government and it has promoted conflicts between the central government and the regional government or the local government. We see this in delivery of funds and even delivery of appropriation bills. Let me also give you an example of when senators and governors have wrangles. These wrangles trickle down to MCAs. These MCAs who want their hands oiled in order to support motions. And these conflicts further trickle down to the common mwananchi through the media. Well, we might not see this now, but children learn from observation. What do you think our young brothers and sisters are learning? That violent demonstrations are the only way of solving conflicts? It's not right. Second of all, it promotes ethnicity. We see that counties and sub-counties are divided in a way that a certain community are enclosed within the boundaries of a county or a sub-county. This has led to those who are not natives of the county or the sub-county getting treated differently. You see, this treating differently is unjust, and it promotes inequality. Inequality is something that is eating us up as a nation. And we also see that it hinders SDG number 10, reduced inequality. It is not right. We want to develop, yet there is inequality. We also see that it divides us as a country. We have had our own Cabinet Secretary of Education state that we are stronger together, not when divided. I believe the Swahili wise man who uttered, "Umoja ni nguvu, utengano ni udhaifu," was very right. And you see that despite also this division, we also get this feeling that there is wenye and there is wananchi. We should all feel like wenye, not just wananchi. Think about it.
First proposer, you have 3 minutes to make your case.
Breathe in, breathe out. Is there any difference in the air? No, because we are all together and unified. This is Sean Kimunuthia from the Mang'u High School, and I oppose the motion that devolution is a hindrance to national integration. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, what is devolution and national integration? Devolution is the equal distribution of resources and power from a centralized government to the local government in equality. Whereas national integration is the aspect of unification for all races and religions. Breaking it down, we find that devolution has greatly increased national integration in that it has brought development to counties that are lagging behind. For example, in 2015, Mandera has released their first ever tarmacked road. Why? The government was able to sit down of that county, recognize their problem, and give their funds to that specific aspect. They are able to continue. This unifies people because they feel that the government is thinking about them. Now, we also share social amenities as these divisions of counties. For example, the Thika Level 5 hospital. I, being from Kisumu region, will not be barred from going to that hospital to seek treatment. And this gives me encouragement to go anywhere in the country so that I can receive services from my people, encouraging the unity we have as Kenyans. I also believe that development of the government brings their services to the grassroots level. In times of the past, we used to see that to get some specific services from the government, you needed to go to either Nairobi, Kisumu, or Mombasa. But today, through the use of Huduma centers, these services are devolved to the people, of which gives equality to all, and they feel that they are not left out in the giving of services. I also think that in the selection of our schools, for example, especially national schools, we find that not everyone is from the same region. This promotes equality for the people. And so, when we get everyone from different regions and they stay in one place, this promotes unity in that they're able to interact with each other and get different traits from each other, which gives us the unity we need as Kenyans. And finally, I believe that inter-county games, when we come together and have competitions against each other, we develop bonds that help us to recognize these people as our allies, yet we are able to find out that once we go against them or once they go against us, we find that we know them, we learn them better, and in that we are able to see ourselves in unity because we have come together for one common cause. And I hope my points have hit home, and let's remember that we are all for one and one for all. Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes to rebut.
Now, there's this wise saying I like: unity is strength. Now, let me give you an example of a blanket talk. There's a mother out in the cold with 3 kids, but with 1 blanket. Now, does it really make sense for her to take her scissors and divide it into 3 to provide warmth to these kids? It's not logic, right? Why can't you just take that 1 blanket and cuddle the kids together and provide warmth? From this, I tend to see that together, by division of the devolved government, we see that there's a lot of division in our country. Now, through the devolved government, we're getting a sense of secession. Now, what do I mean by secession? This is the fact of an area or a group becoming independent from the country or a larger group that it belonged to before. Now, let me take you behind. In the last year general elections, we tend to see that there was an oppositional zone. We see that the oppositional side wanted to secede itself from our country. And this is seen by the National Resident Movement, which is the NRM, that wanted to divide themselves from our country, Kenya. They feel independent. They feel that they have independent resources, that they do not need the national government to cater for them. They feel with this devolved government, they can stand for themselves and they can stand by themselves. But what is this bringing? A lot of disunity. From this, we saw a lot of destruction of property, wrangling, violent demonstrations, if it's not one, burning down of shops. Is this really what we want? Is this what Kenyan means? We fight for unity. This brings about a lot of disunity. There's a lot of wrangling that is happening. And Kenyans, open your eyes and see. Open your eyes and see that this devolved government is disuniting us. It's bringing us apart. It makes sense when we are one, not apart. Let me ask you a question. What is devolution without integration? Because that is what we are fighting for. And that is what I want the rest of my people to see. That is what I want us to stand for. Unity as the #1 factor. Now, when we go to the SDG number 17, partnership to achieve one goal. We see from the NRMs wanting to succeed themselves. Do we see partnership? Do we see achieving of a goal here? This is not partnership. This is a lot of disunity, and we cannot come together to bring about the SDGs that we are fighting for. Okay, maybe this devolved government will lead to a lot of development. How can we enjoy this development if we are divided? Now, my question to you still remains, Is this the devolution that you're fighting for? Is this what Kenya means? Is this what being a national integration means? Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for rebuttal.
Knowing trees, I understand the meaning of patience. Knowing grass, I can appreciate the persistence. From Mang'u High School, my name is Joseph Muregi, here to oppose the motion that states devolution is a hindrance to national integration. Thanks to devolution, there is better representation of marginalized groups in our counties. For example, through the introduction of posts such as the MCAs and the representatives of the youth, the women, the children, and the people living with disabilities, they feel that their needs are catered for, therefore bringing about the oneness and togetherness, and the feeling is mutual. Before devolution was born, the centralized government made the people feel left out due to inequality and marginalization. A good example is the people who live in the North Frontier region. Comparing development in a place like the North Frontier region and Nairobi is like comparing heaven and earth. But now, thanks to the devolution, development is taking place in that region, and now they can say we now live in Kenya. Job opportunities also are able to join Kenyans as one. The NCIC has been able to bring out that 30% of the jobs given to government offices are to be given to people of the minor or different groups within the county. And according to Article 174B of the Constitution, that under the objectives of devolution states that devolution is aimed at enhancing unity and togetherness. And I therefore ask all of you to join me to say devolution is not a hindrance to national integration. I drop the proverbial gavel and I rest my case.
For the question session, the proposers have been asked to suggest another alternative to devolution because as it is in the country, devolution seems to actually be a success in the marginalized areas. For the opposers, they've been asked, how exactly does devolution lead to national integration and unity? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes.
If I am a citizen and I go to a Huduma center, then someone speaks to me in their local dialect, which I do not understand. And if I tell them that I do not understand, they have this attitude. They look at me as if I'm this other type of human being. Will that bring us together? No, it makes us to become disunified. We're not talking about just, yes, we agree that devolution has brought infrastructure. Does everyone gain from this infrastructure? No, it has brought more bad than good. Here is Mochabo Emilia from Apostlic Camel Girls Secondary School to propose the motion that devolution is a hindrance to national integration. SDG number 8, decent work and economic growth. Is stealing and engaging in social crimes decent work? No. But why do people engage in these social evils? To get money. Where does this money go? The first thing most people think about is how my salary will be increased and who suffers more. I, as the taxpayer, I have to dig deep to get more money to pay the tax, which I will not gain from, but somebody else will gain from. So why should we involve many people in something as simple as organizing ourselves and doing something as organized as we can and dedicating our time and doing it in peace instead of giving something simple to 100 people? My second point, it leads to exclusion. Minimal people are gaining from the profits. We see that, let's say in a county like Nairobi, yes, there is development, but that is in Nairobi. What about areas like Garissa? Nairobi receives more funds, unlike Garissa, which needs more development. We'll continue developing an area like Nairobi, but what of Garissa? Look at people who are marginalized. I don't see how there's better representation of marginalized groups. There's actually compounding of marginalization. Why do I say this? Why do we still hear people complaining that I feel as if I am not represented? If really devolution brought people together, more representation of marginalized groups, we wouldn't have these people complaining. Article 174 of the Constitution, equitable sharing of resources. Are these resources really equitably shared? And yet there's still people who've not seen a road, people who don't know there's something like a school that exists. Is this what devolution is all about? 8 years down the line, it's right now that we get to see some things. What have they been doing all that time? What have they been showing us? Instead of pulling us together, we are going away. If I have a pen, and everyone in this room is supposed to use this pen, and then I drop it, then I call all of you to scramble for this one pen which you're supposed to use. Is anyone going to use this pen? No. But if I pick it and tell people to come together one at a time and use this pen instead of scrambling, it will be better, and we're going to be unified because we're going to do it in a specific controlled manner. Think of it, people. We are not becoming unified, but we are getting more disunified. Thank you.
Kadopoza, you have 3 minutes.
Do you want to know my opinion? My opinion is that devolution removed us from a time where we used to roll the dice. How people were represented depended on whether we managed to call people from different areas. All devolution did was tell us that as Kenyans, we are diverse. We have so many tribes in Kenya, and that is a fact that we have to face. You can't go to areas and expect everybody to speak the same language because to some people, this English or this Kiswahili has not reached those areas. So what do you expect them to be communicating? And this is why devolution came about. With devolution, we managed to be able to recognize this diversity. And it is in the diversity, and it is in devolution that we recognize and embrace our diversity to create unity. What do I mean? Through devolution, we managed to embrace our diversity. How? When we go and devolve a particular region or a particular area, we happen to be able to build this place. And in building these regions, we are encouraging people to come from different areas and to live into these places that have been developed. What if I come and live in an area that is developed and is not full of the people of my tribe, so to say? Will I get to interact with them? Yes. Will this build to working together and to knowing each other? Yes. Also, we can say that devolution has not enhanced national integration. Look at us here. We are here because we are people from specific regions, and we were picked, and we are given an invitation to come and to be able to air out our views. We got to experience and to interact with our MP, Honorable Patrick Wainaina. Did you get to meet your leaders? Isn't this as a cause of devolution? Also, our second speaker of the proposition happened to mention NRM and the splitting of the Western region. This is something that you cannot stop. As Kenya, we are divided. Some particular people came and settled in particular areas. And because one of the leaders was from one of these areas, the people of his areas decided to move with him. Are you suggesting that we have no boundaries? That is chaos that you plea for. We need organization in order to see the way forward. And the first step to be able to unite Kenya is to recognize that we are different, but in our difference, we shall gain unity. Thank you.
The proposition, you have 1 minute to wrap up your case.
I will start by talking about, as Kenya, we are divided, as my friend here has said. He is already accepting the fact that devolution is bringing division. And second of all, he said that we have a chance of meeting our leaders. I was not born during that era, but my mother told me about Moi visitations. And there was something like dancing for the president. There was something like maziwa ya Nyayo. And there was something like, may I remind the judges, kidole cha Nyayo. So I am here to say that devolution is truly a hindrance to national integration. We can see through the numerous wrangles between our leaders. We can see also through the ethnicity. The opposers have also said that through interaction and through interaction we can have exchange of cultures and all that. But what if this interaction was set in a specific place where majority is a specific community? May I remind you of the ban of use of local dialect in Nyeri by the Nyeri governor. We see this was because the use of local dialect had become excessive. My friends, need I say more to add to that devolution is a hindrance to our national integration? I don't think so.
The opposition, you have 1 minute for your closing statement.
We find strength in our diversity. Let's take a very good example of the normal school setup. I'm bad at chemistry, he's bad at math. I'm good at math, he's good at chemistry. Together, we'll be able to build ourselves to getting better grades. And that is why I say that devolution is in fact beautifying national integration. For example, we can even take here. Different schools have come to battle it out, but in battling it out, we have been able to receive various opinions that can help and make our country grow. Now, isn't that found in diversity? We all have different opinions and different ideas so that we can better ourselves. What I can say is this: if Kenyans were to stay with one mind, we would never get new ideas to be able to take ourselves further. We'd never get new aspects of looking at each other. And therefore, I believe as we come together as one, we are able to see our differences and we're able to work on them, which helps us work better, even more, to a stronger country. Thank you.
Edna, I like that you defined the terms for us as a first speaker. That is good, breaking down the motion for the audience, and also that you are a really strong speaker. I like that from you. You also made reference to the SDGs, which was good. I believe you have a bright future in debate. Gadoni, second speaker, we didn't really hear a rebuttal from you, which is one of the roles of the second speaker. But I like the fact that you are also very confident and you also made a reference to the SDGs, though I was worried that you didn't quite use up the 3 minutes provided for you. Emilia, you are a good speaker, very confident as well. You said at some point that devolution has brought us more bad than good, and I hoped you would have expounded more on that, though I like the fact that you tried to use the concept of the scrambling of the pen to explain what you are to explain your points, which was actually very interesting. Though I believe that maybe next time you could have, you can do even better than this. I wish you all the best.
Sean, there's an example you used about bringing the service to the grassroots, and you talked about Huduma centers, and that's something that I think most adults in the room really resonate with. It has become much easier, so I thought that was a very good thing. And then Joseph, you talked about ending marginalization, also was a very good example. However, I was waiting for you to actually paint that picture. That was a missed opportunity to try to appeal to the emotions of the audience. Also, however, I was impressed that you talked about the Constitution and article that agrees with your side of the motion. That was a very, very good job. Ian, you talked about embracing diversity. In Kenya, that's one of the things that we are looking for, that even though you come from different places, we want to see that we are all unified. So I think that was a very, very good point. However, on your side, I would say with practice, try and put in a little bit more energy when you're speaking so that we're actually feeling, hearing through your voice what you stand for, and we can see it even in your face. All the best to both teams.
We've had an interesting debate from the two schools on stage. However, There has to be a winner. And with 70%, our winners for this debate are Apostlic Camel Girls. Let's give them a round of applause. And with 68%, we have Mang'u High School. Let's appreciate them with a round of applause.
Congratulations to both teams on stage here at the Great Debaters Contest. That's it for today. We shall see you next time. I've been your host, Esperanza Kapanga.
And I am Chris Boru.